What do you want to accomplish in the first 3 minutes of meeting somebody?
Because the biggest thing, it's not that I even want to accomplish thing. I want to know my outcome. So I've got a very, very simple system that I use, and it sounds simple as this. I want to make certain to show up as valuable as possible for myself and other people. So I've got a very simple system. Number one is I ask myself, what state am I in? Meaning very quickly, like, what state am I in? Am I frustrated? Am I annoyed? Am I bothered? Am I pissed off? Am I happy? Am I overzealous? Like, I've been in events before where I needed to do a presentation to people and they just came out of a meditation, Jeff. And I'm all fired up. Like I don't even drink Red Bull, but I'm a 90 Red Bulls high, okay, acting. And they just came out of meditation. I didn't check my state. And I really didn't do too good. That was about 15 years ago. Number one is what state am I in? Number two is what state are they in? Like, where are they really at? So if I'm meeting with someone and let's just say you want to market something to somebody, you're a mortgage guy, what state am I in? I'm excited. I'm happy. I want to help this person. What state are they in? Pissed off, bothered, and confused. They have to be here. Most people don't ever recognize that. Second thing, what is my outcome? Well, a lot of us have an outcome like I want to sell something to somebody or I want them to date me or I want to be rich or whatever it is. I got to also know your outcome. So what I do, Jeff, I've trained my mind, and I'm going to throw a very simple phrase at you is I don't train people to think different thoughts. I train people to think differently. And what I mean by that is the way we need to think about communication is it's not what you say, it's the response that you get. So again, I'll repeat that again. It's not what I say, it's the response that I get. So if I'm meeting you, I'm like, I got to quickly check, what state am I in? What state is Jeff in? What is my outcome? What is their outcome? And with that said, if you want to call it manipulating the relationship, I'll call it this. How do I make it as great for Jeff as possible? Meaning, how do I be the best me that he needs me to be right now? And I would tell you 9 out of 10 people would never even have had that thought I just said.
When we first met, I was taken aback a little bit about how intensely focused you were on our conversation. And maybe that was trying to figure out, maybe you have a half a dozen boxes that you want to put people in terms of outcomes, right? So it's like, okay, is this a potential client? Is this a potential friend? Is this a potential referral partner? Is this just a good networking person that I can get to? What you have these different, what are some of the outcomes that you have on a const? I walked up to you and I thanked you for helping my son through a very difficult time in his life and also giving him some tools to get to be successful in a job fair, going for some very important job interviews that he was going to. I asked him this morning. He did give us permission to talk about this. So if we ever get around to it, of course, I don't want to call him out too much. He says, "I'm sure Michael's got other things." Michael does have other things, but
he's an important part of our conversation. It's how we met, and he's your child.
Yeah, so that was it. But what are some of the outcomes when you meet a peer or a business person at an event like that? What boxes would you put them into?
Good question. So let me re-ask you a simple question because I don't believe I've ever anybody be direct and say that to me. You said, how do most people communicate? If you said it stood out what I was doing, what does the average person do just so I know what I'm dealing with or what I'm doing? I'll then answer your question in a second. I just wanted to understand you because I remember where we met and then you said I was intently listening. What was that experience you had? And then I'll give you my answer.
It's a mixed bag, I think, which is probably the reason your business is so good, that communication is unintentional and unmanaged. So most people are going to have a go-to. And this is how how are you? And you're going to make an inference about them on their tonality. Are they warm? First of all, what's their tonality and what's their warmth, right? Are they coming off as like kind and generous and just kind of in the moment there? Are they patient, hurried? Are they dismissive of you? Some people are going to come off like that. And
how did I come off to you?
You came off as intensely focused on what we were talking about. And also you're tall, by the way, which, I'm 6'2", and I was looking up at you, which is not that common for me. So
doesn't hurt to have that advantage.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
And I think you can use that in a couple of different ways. If you want, you can either be arming or disarming with it. But you came off as very intentional. You were engaged in the conversation. You were businesslike, but also like, well, why don't we grab something to eat? Which that's another thing too. For some reason, you're at the buffet, right? And you have a choice. The person that I'm talking to in line going to be someone that I go eat with, or they're going to be somebody that I say, I'll talk to you later, and you go eat with somebody else, right? So you said, hey, why don't let's eat together. So I'm like, oh, that was great. And that made me feel good that, you wanted to meet. And then we sat down and we had a nice conversation over lunch. And you had a business thing to go to. And I said, I'm going to get a coffee. Can I get you one? The other thing you did is you accepted the coffee. So I'm a giver, and you made me feel good by giving you a coffee. I got my special order that I get. And when I gave it to you, like, that's really good. What is that? Yeah. Quad espresso iced venti cup, splash of coconut milk, powdered cinnamon, $4.17. But it's a Starbucks hack, but it's a great drink. So, and the whole experience with you was above average.
Thank you. So it's been a long time since I put I would say the program in place. And what I mean by the program in place is one of my desires is really to accept the fact that most people have a neural pathway inside of their brain where everything looks about the same. They get up, they do the same thing every day. So how do I create an experience that is slightly different than what they expect? How do I make it memorable? And it's not like I'm sitting here analyzing this. This is decades ago that I developed this in my mind, and then I've just continued to perpetuate it with evidence that it works. Is my desire when I meet people is to really just decipher very quickly, where do I want this conversation to go? I'm very not interested in small talk. I'm not one of those guys that wants to talk about your golf game the entire lunch. It doesn't interest me. I'm not a guy that likes going to weddings and sitting next to your brother's best friend's cousin's uncle at some table. I'd rather just be with my family during those times. I'm not a small talk guy. So when I meet people, the number one thing is, how can I stand out in this person's mind and start creating what's called a new neural pathway? Because it's no different than when somebody meets somebody in business. Like, what are the traditional things people say? Like, if you knock on someone's door, you talk to them, hey, how are you? How you doing today? I was just in the neighborhood. If you sound anything like anything they heard before, you wind up in that box. You wind up in the box as their ex-husband, their ex-wife, and you shouldn't be in that box, right? So my job is, how do I stand out, be relatively different without being extremely a carnival show? And that's one of my first things that I do. Like, how can I create a unique situation where someone goes, this is interesting? Because at the end of the day, sales or business or relationships is, you got to get people's attention. You got to make them aware that you might know something they don't know. I want to offer value to somebody, and then I want to create interest and really have a desire to continue a relationship. That's where most relationships fail too, is you got to get someone's attention. You got to make them aware that I might have something of value to you. And then I want to make you interested in what I'm talking about. If you can't get those three things down straight back from Glengarry Glen Ross, I don't even want to teach you the next part, right? But that is where I would say my mind is. I want to say something and see how receptive you are to who I actually am, and not put on a show for you. So I'm going to say some crazy shit, and I'm going to say it sometimes. And there are certain people that are not interested, or certain people that go for the close right away, like, hey, Jeff, you seem like a great guy. Let's do business. Well, now you're annoying. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that is how my mind is working. I bet we go deeper, I can get even more.
Do you ever get a reaction where people just are not into the intensity or the forward nature of your conversation?
Of course.
And they just, what is their reaction? They just go away?
I mean, I get people, I intimidate people. I intimidate a lot of people. Intimidate's the right word, but I'm not. My wife had explained that to me. Number one is I'm larger than some. I'm a very nice person. I'm very kind, but I'm larger than a lot of people. I also know that there's that, and then there's their own insecurities that come out. So if someone's not interested, I look at life as timing. It's just not the right time. Maybe I said something that didn't work, but I don't really care, because I learned a long time ago, and it's interesting. My friend Chase Hughes has been covering this a lot recently, but I learned a lot about one of the ways we're controlled as people is our need to be liked and our need to feel connected to somebody. And that is a good thing, but it's also a way that we're controlled. So if I'm too connected with the outcome, then I'm going to position myself in a very weak way with you. So I've learned to care so much that I don't care at all. And it's meaning, like, I care so much about relationships and people that I can't care if now's the timing. It's just not. So that's one of my frames that I take on, is I care so much that I don't care at all.
I've seen you engage an audience and work cold with some people, I guess crowd work for lack of a better term, and you knock people right off their pins right away. Is that
Yep.
Is that for the purpose of other people observing it, or is that just core to you getting to the bottom of driving change really quick?
Well, I guess I'm impatient. I become more impatient over the years. I don't want to put on a show. I want to get there quickly. Change happens faster than slower. When a person physically gets over traumas or challenges that I help people get through, when they finally do it, it's instant. So one of the reasons I go very quick at people is I want to check the leverage point. Now, you'll also watch me back out. If I'm going to go real quick to see how fast we can go. And then if for some reason they put up all the resistance, I may push one more time and then I'll back out. But I also know that people want to move quickly and sometimes they need their pattern broken. So I'll just walk in and I'll come at people quickly. It depends what's going on. Somebody says to me, hey, Michael, will you show me this? I said, do you really want to know, or are you just asking? Because I want to know if you're someone that's going to get this quickly, or I'm going to be talking to you for an hour. You pick. They've never heard that their entire life. And remember this, when somebody, I do a lot of hypnotic work, and I don't mean like dance like a chicken. I mean reframing of people's psychological positions for fighters, and working with people in the movie business, people that do speeches, people that have had horrible things happen and now they got to get on stage and talk. And one of the things that I've recognized with people is that if something is new, like, oh my God, I've never experienced this before, what's happening? It's shocking. They say, this is new, what should I do? And they actually, all the resistance goes down and they're like, all right, well, I'll give this guy a try, even if they don't mean to. So part of it is coming in fast and hard, which most people are not willing to do. Not always in all situations. You got to know what you're doing with if you're doing this. You're playing with communication and bomb detection are two things you can't take back. You can't get back a spoken word. If you cut the wrong wire, everybody blows up. So communication does not have a second chance to re-say that thing again. You can say something else, but we got to get good at this, which means you got to learn. You're going to screw up. You're going to blow a few things up.